So, what are you guys doing later on, huh? You wanna kick back some kickstarts and have some fun? We could find some Disney ladies. Kind of a sausage fest up here. Bambi, you are a dude, right? What? Look behind you, lad! No. Huh? Behind you, lad! Oh! Hello! Didn't realize we were recording. So, well, since we're here, might as well do my ranking of the Herbie movies, the Love Bug franchise, whatever. There's six films, and let me tell you, my ranking, my thoughts on the ranking from when I came in, before I started watching the movies, to now, are very surprising, because there are a couple movies that are lower than I thought they would. One that's lower, one that's higher. Some that are lower, some that are higher. We'll start off at the bottom. The one movie I knew was going to be dead last, Herbie Fully Loaded. This is just your generic cash-in movie that doesn't resemble the original. The plot is very predictable. She's a girl. She wants to be, she wants to do stuff. It's basically, if you've seen the Disney Channel original movie Motocross, it's basically the same thing. Only, instead of taking her brother's spot and shaving her head, she pretends to be a different race car driver, which is, it's a little bit different, but it's basically the same because her dad doesn't want her to drive. So she's going to be in disguise. It's just basic. The Herbie stuff, most of the other movies have your, practical effects, save for the 97 TV film, but that was TV stuff. Even that looked a little bit better than this stuff, to be honest. It's really just generic, and you can skip it, Number 5 is Herbie Rides Again. This one really got me, because I always thought this was like the second best. Well, in the original trilogy, the original films, the first 3 films I always held in high regard, and I thought that I would rank them 1, 2, 3, like the first one would be first, and then the second one would be second, and then the third one would be third, like that, because they're all that good. But rewatching this again, this is one of the ones that fell. It just, going from the first film to only Herbie being the one that is, sentient, to there being a trolley car and an organ thing. It just doesn't work for me. Now we have some mustache twirling villain that wants to destroy a firehouse. Out of all the Herbie films, really, it's the only one that doesn't really have to do with racing, to be honest. It's your standard Disney film from that era, actually. You think about it, there's an evil mustache twirling villain who wants to do something. They want to stop him. Basic stuff. All the other ones had the racing element in it. This one doesn't, and it's even better than Herbie Fully Loaded. I would watch this over that one. Number 4 is Herbie Goes Bananas. And bananas is the perfect word to describe this film, because there's plot elements galore in this. You have Pete and Davy going to pick up Herbie in Mexico for some reason. Jim Douglas left it there, and they're going to pick it up because Pete is Jim's nephew, and so they're picking that up. But then you have Cloris Leachman and her niece, and there's some kind of romantic thing there. But then she's trying to hook up with the captain, and Herbie gets thrown overboard, and he meets Paco, who calls him Ocho because 5 and 3 make 8. And then there's, they combine. There's a bullfight, and it's just all over the place. But it's very enjoyable, which is why it's up more than the other two. And at least there's not a bunch of sentient, things. It's just Herbie, and it's enjoyable. It really is. Number 3 is The Love Bug, 1997. Hail to the king, baby. Hail to the king, baby. Yeah, This is another one that's pure schlock. It's pure 90s schlock. You got a mustache-twirling villain who doesn't have a mustache. You have an evil car. You have Bruce Campbell playing a very likable protagonist. You have, the love interest thing that makes more sense because they used to date, so it's not just out of nowhere their love. You have the sidekick who is, quirky and understands Herbie. You have a bunch of good things. Where it falls for me, though, is that the actress who plays the love interest is terrible in this role. She's way too sarcastic in her acting, and why they didn't tone it down, I don't know. When they rehash the original, it's more eye-rolling. Hey, that's from the original. There's even beats of that in Fully Loaded as well. That you're just like, we're doing this again. He wants the car for something, just like the other two. It's eye-rolling when he gives up the car, much like Thorndike in the original. But then he wants it back, and we're doing this again. And it's just, no. But it's still enjoyable, and Bruce Campbell is the man, as always. Number 1 and 2 were switched around for me because I never in a million years thought I would do this. But number 2 is the original Love Bug from 1968. Yeah, this one shocked me too because going into this, like I said, I had an idea of what I was going to do, and this was going to be number 1. But there is one better, and I think you know why, and we'll get to that. But the Love Bug, it's a classic Disney film. You got Dean Jones, Buddy Hackett, Michelle Lee, David Tomlinson, who's great as always. How about you? It's fantastic. But where it's not as good as my number 1 is that it's very basic. I mean, it's, much like I said, mustache-twirling villain who wants to make sure our hero doesn't get what he wants. I love the Chinese guy. He's kind of funny. The whole thing with, now you're speaking my language. It's just, but it's still fun to watch. I recommend it to show your kids. It's a fantastic film. But for me, my number 1, and you know why. My number 1, and you know why it's number 1, is Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. And above all the other things, you have Don Knotts. Dean Jones is back. They're in Paris. They're racing. I like how it's not just, Jim Douglas is just going to race around a European circuit. No, they throw in a jewel thief, a couple of jewel thieves who steal a jewel. It's in Herbie's gas tank, and the stereotypical cop that would be chasing them is actually the one who sent them, which is a nice twist. And you have another love story times 2. And while I don't like it when Herbie's not the only sentient one, unless it makes sense, like the 97 film, it still works. And above all, the one thing that puts this above all the others is, of course, Fontenoy. Now, you may have watched this and say he's not in it that much, but the scenes that he's in are some of the funniest scenes. Where he arrests Inspector Boucher. Thank you, sir. It's fantastic. Fontenoy deserves his own TV show. I'm telling you, Disney. Sacha Baron Cohen is Fontenoy in his own show. Disney Plus, Disney Channel. For Disney Channel because I don't have Disney Plus. Put a movie in the theater. Do something. Fontenoy. There's justice for Fontenoy. I'm saying. But yes, Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo is number 1. And like I said, going into this, I did not think that it was going to surpass the original. I figured it would be number 3, actually, because I thought the 97 film with Bruce Campbell would be number 2, and the original would be number 1. But I was wrong. I enjoyed this one more. So what are your thoughts on my ranking of the Herbie franchise? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one.